Hi, welcome to video 5 of the 5-Pi video series on chapter 17 of Absolute Java, the topic being swing. In this video 5, we're going to focus on text fields and text areas. I've talked about references a few times, and one more time I want to urge you, highly encourage you to go out and take a few minutes right now and visit these 3 links to make sure you know what's there and what's available to you, and perhaps bookmark these links. The first is to the Oracle Java 7 Standard Edition Java doc. The second is a nice example of all the different components available to you in Swing, so you know what's available for you to grab and use on your GUIs. And last is a tutorial that pretty much will show you how to create events, how to create layout managers, or how to create any component that you're interested in. So the first example we're going to have in today's video series is going to be a text field. We're going to be prompted for a name, and we'll be able to type into a text field our name. We'll have 2 J buttons, one called Click Me, we'll see its behavior in a second, and the second clear. As you look at this GUI, how would you lay it out? Notice that the top half and the bottom half have the same size. So perhaps the grid layout of 2 rows and 1 column is coming to your mind. So here in the top GUI, I've entered the name Matt McKenzie. I then clicked Click Me. When I did that, the second window displays, and the word hello was added in front of Matt McKenzie. So the action listener for Click Me went out and grabbed the value that was in the text field, Matt McKenzie, concatenated it to the string hello, and then put the value back into the text field. So a text field is an object of the class JTextField. It is displayed as a field that allows the user to enter a single line of text. That's the key, a single line of text. And here a variable called name of type text field was defined, and it was set equal to a text field instance with a certain number of characters. And this number of characters here is a constant, and that's how many characters will be visible within the text field. And there is also a constructor with 1 additional string parameter for displaying an initial string in the text field. So that constructor shown here takes 2 arguments. First is the string to display, which in this case is enter name here, and then the width of the text field. And that's the width and number of characters, so 30 is the number of characters. A Swing GUI can read the text in a text field using the getText method. So since I have a JText field called name, on the name instance I can call getText, and whatever is in that field will get returned and put into the variable input string. Alternatively, I can set the text field from my program. The method setText can be used to display a new text string in a text field. So here I'm calling setText on the name text field, and I'm going to set it to this is some output. So let's look at the code behind those 2 GUIs that I showed when the video first started. The class is called text field demo, and it's going to extend JFrame. That's a practice we've been pushing the whole 5 videos, is to extend the JFrame. I love inner classes, so I'm going to create 2 inner classes to be my action listeners. The first class, Clear Listener, implements action listener, and it's simply going to set the text to the empty string. Now the beauty of inner classes, they can see all the data members in the class. That's why it has direct access to the text field name. The second inner class listener is going to be the Click Me listener. That implements action listener, And in the action before method, it's simply going to concatenate the string hello to the string that's currently in the name field. So here I have hello concatenated to name.getText. And take that entire value and I'm going to put it right back into the name field. In the constructor for text field demo, I call super with the title of the GUI. Going to use that layout. Remember I showed before that we had 2 rows, 1 column to evenly divide up the GUI. So I have a grid layout, 2 rows and 1 column. I'm going to first develop the top panel. I'm going to call it name panel. And I'm going to use a layout of a border layout. I'm going to make the panel's background color white. I'm going to create my text field. And I'm going to want it to hold 30 characters. And then I'm going to add that text field into the self of the name panel. I'm going to create a J label. And inside the J label, I'm going to have the string enter your name here. And I'm going to put that J label in the center of the name panel. I then added the name panel to my grid layout. This is the first GUI component added. It's going to go into row 1, column 1. I then created my button panel. I'm going to use a flow layout for my button panel. I'm going to make the whole panel pink. I'm going to create a variable action button of type J button, and on that button I'm going to put click me. I want to attach an instance of my inner class, click me listener, to the action button. I'm then going to add the action button to the button panel. I'm going to create a variable called Claire button of type J button, and it's going to hold the J button with the word Claire on it. I want to attach an action listener to Claire button, which is going to be an instance of the Claire listener. I'm going to add the Claire button to the button panel. Then finally, I'm going to add to the grid layout, row 2, column 1, the button panel. So let's move on to text areas. I'm showing an example of a text area here. And the text area is kind of like a text field, except it has rows and columns. So a text area is an object of the class JTextArea. It is the same as a text field, except that it allows multiple lines. 2 parameters to the JTextArea constructor specify the minimum number of lines and the minimum number of characters per line that are guaranteed to be visible. For example, the variable theText of type JTextArea is equal to a new text area with 5 lines and 20 columns. Another constructor has 1 additional string parameter for the string initially displayed in the text area. For example, here I'm creating a new text area. I want to initially display the string enter your story here. And I should have had a comma. So I'm missing a comma, and then 5, 20. The line wrapping policy for a JTextArea can be set using the method setLineWrap. The method takes 1 Boolean type argument. If the argument is true, then any additional characters at the end of the line will appear on the following line of the text area. It will automatically wrap. If the argument is false, the extra characters will remain on the same line. It will not be visible. It'll just go right off the screen. So here I'm calling my text area variable the text, and I'm going to set its line wrap to false. I don't want it to wrap. Now, if I do want it to wrap, but I want it to break on word boundaries, there's a method called setWordWrap, and I can set that to true. A JText field or a JTextArea can be set so that it cannot be changed by the user. You'll be able to see the value in the text field, but you won't be able to change it. In the text, the way to do that is calling setEditable to false. So here is my text field or text area variable instance. I'm going to call the method setEditable and give it a value of false. And as I said, this will set the text so that it can be only edited by the GUI program, not by the user. So the program can still change its value, but the user can't do it interactively. To reverse this, use true instead. This is the default. Labeling. In order to label one or more text fields, use an object of the class JLabel and place the text field and labels in a JPanel. That way you can treat the JPanel as a single component. Number of characters per line. The number of characters per line for a JText field or JText area object is the number of M spaces. Okay, what's an M space? An M space is the space needed to hold one uppercase letter M. The letter M is the widest letter in the alphabet. So a line specified to hold 20 M's will almost always be able to handle more than 20 characters. Inputting and outputting numbers. When attempting to input numbers from any Swing GUI, input text must be converted to numbers. So if the user enters the number 42 in a JText field, when the program calls getText, it's going to receive the string 42 as a string, and it must convert it to the integer 42, right? Integer.parseInt. The same thing is true when attempting to output a number. In order to output the number 42, it must first be converted to the string, quote, 42, quote. So just looking at a couple of the methods for a text field or a text area, we've got getText, which gets the value that's in the field. We can call isEditable to see if the field is editable. You can change the background color of the field with setBackground. We can set editable to be true or false, depending whether we want the user to interactively be able to change the value. We can call setText to specify the text that's going to go into the field. Well, that concludes the video series. Last stop is going to be exercise 3. Have a great day.